So we're delighted to be here again with Dr. Robert Robertson at the University College of the Cayman Islands. He's the president here at the University College. Always some exciting things going on here, and we like to check in occasionally to discuss what some of those things are, keeping everyone in the community abreast of those developments. And of course, the first thing I should say, Dr. Robertson, is congratulations. I understand that you guys have broken some records recently in terms of the admissions for this particular semester. So tell us a little bit about that excitement.
Yeah, we're really excited about it, and I think you can tell coming to campus that the students are as well. There's a lot of energy around the campus, a lot of activity. We're currently just over 1,400 students, and we expect to be over 1,500 by the end of the term, because basically we're open enrollment and we have multiple enrollment cycles through the term. So the traditional enrollment is complete. Those students are in for the September to December kind of cohort. But we have other professional development courses that generally generate anywhere from 100 to 300 students. So even if we get 100 students, we're over 1,500, which is a record for sure.
Wow.
So it's really an exciting time, and it generates its own challenges. You have to have the space to house all the students. You have to have the instructors, but people are really pulling together to make it a good experience for the students, which is really what we want to do.
Absolutely amazing. What do you attribute the increase in numbers to?
I think it's a couple of things. I think first of all, I think the brand is improving. I think people are talking more positively about the school and its offerings, and I think word of mouth, people vote with their feet, and so they talk to their colleagues, and they are having a good experience here, then they're inclined to come as well. Similarly, we're getting a lot of support from from different businesses providing financial support to us. That tends to generate some interest as well. There's scholarships available, not only the government scholarships, but scholarships and work opportunities with different businesses. We have 2 or 3 that will be announced in the next week or so, and in talking to them, that's precisely why they're giving money to the school to help young Caymanians achieve their academic and professional dreams. And so those are happening on a pretty regular basis now, and I'm really pleased about that as well.
Now I understand that the largest area really of growth has been in the TVET section, which I was a bit surprised to hear.
Right. It's not only TVET. I would say it's more workforce readiness generally.
Right.
So IT, for example, big uptick in IT, which is desperately needed in the Cayman Islands and throughout the Caribbean, frankly. But also there's a big uptick in trades. So some of that is through dual enrollment with the guidance and assistance of the Ministry of Education, but a lot of it's just young people looking for a trade that pays well. And so an HVAC technician, we've had a really hot summer. If your heating and ventilation system's not working, you look to that person and you're going to pay whatever it takes to get that working. So yeah, a lot of interest in those areas.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. Well, that's fantastic. So definitely congratulations to yourself and all of the staff here, and as well as the students at University College of the Cayman Islands. So you're not stopping. You're not going to sit back and say, all right, we've got high enrollment numbers, we're done here. Let's, be satisfied with that. I understand that you've got a lot in the works coming up into the next term as well. So give us an idea of what else is planned.
So planning's already started for next term. I mean, we just started this term, but we need to kind of think ahead and make sure there's physical space and instructors and those types of things. But one of the things we're really using as a kind of a strategic lever is a document that was recently prepared with the financial assistance of the Resembid grant that we had. It looked at the skills gap in the Cayman Islands and looked at what areas we really need to focus on. Hospitality was one of them, IT, the trades, and try to bring professional certifications to the table. So in the next term, we're really looking at shorter courses, accelerated completions, but industry certifications to go with them. And I'm not saying the academic side should be ignored, but they should be supplemented with industry certifications because employers are telling us that's what they want.
Right, absolutely. And of course, those certifications are useful for people who may be already in the workplace, in the workforce for a number of years and just want to do that additional bit of training.
Correct. Yeah, we have students, I think the last I heard was sort of 16 to 60. We have students of all ages, and a lot of people are coming back to retrain, to upskill is the term that people are using, because the job they were in is maybe a dead end, and it's just a job, it's not a career, and they want to have more of a career focus. So, and that's happening quite a bit. We're getting a wide range of students coming in.
And speaking of the Resembed program, recently you had your graduation ceremony for, I think that was the first cohort of students that actually did that program. So tell us a little bit about how successful that program was for you.
Well, that's another piece of the puzzle in terms of branding the program. So 52 students graduated, and I think the publicity around that and the fact that most of those graduates ended up getting a job, which was the whole plan from the beginning, that's what generated additional enrollments. And so that was really helpful, and it also introduced those students. I've talked to some of them who said, you know, getting that first certification was not as hard as I thought. So I'm gonna go on and get level 2, for example, in NCCER, or another CompTIA certification. And I think that's what I tell students. I was in a class this morning, and I say to them, at some point, education is like, you know, eating an elephant. You have to do it one bite at a time. Like, find your interest area, but don't try to consume all of it at once. You just won't be able to do that. And so if they can generate a plan for themselves, and you might deviate it from time to time, you might drop out, go to work, maybe to support yourself or your family, but, you know, keep your eye on the prize. You want a better life, you want a better career, you want better income. And so if you stick to it determinedly, you're going to achieve it.
Yes, absolutely. And what more can we expect then in terms of the Resembed program? Is there going to be additional funding?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, quite a bit actually. So you will see some physical changes. So the next changes will be around the campus, providing some energy sustainability solutions. It's older buildings, and so we bleed a lot of energy, unfortunately. So we now have an energy audit that shows us specifically where energy needs to be conserved. And so we're going to do some things like double glazing windows and doing some things that will save us energy costs. In addition, there will be solar panels placed on the hall. The hall is an emergency shelter, and so panels there will be very beneficial for a variety of reasons, including the fact that it's an emergency shelter. So if power goes out, that building ostensibly could generate its own power if it's worked correctly. In addition, one of the things that will come is a campus master plan. The campus is kind of older, and you can see it's showing some strain in certain areas. So there's buildings, there's parking, and you know, we have a nice courtyard now in the front, but we really need to think about where else could we put buildings, or perhaps maybe go to instead of a series of 2-story buildings, maybe 1 or 2 4-story buildings and have more green space in the campus. I'm not saying that's the solution, but at least look at it. So we've been charged by the ministry to do a campus master plan, and that should be complete probably at the end of Q1 2024.
Wonderful. You're keeping very, very busy.
Yes.
Yes, this is fantastic. So I also understand that one of the last times I think we were here visiting the university, there was a lot of excitement around a memorandum of understanding that was signed between yourselves and a university in Massachusetts, and I understand that that is gaining some positive traction as well. So perhaps give our listeners a little bit of an update on where that stands.
Yeah, I think those there's a number of those agreements that we have signed or are about to sign. So one of them is with New England Institute of Technology, which is actually in Rhode Island, in Providence. So we have a partnership with them now to try to offer some courses here, perhaps even virtually, that we don't currently have. We're not trying to reduce our brand to build theirs, but you know, there's some synergies where, you know, 1 + 1 = 2, for example, or 3, I should say, instead of 2. So we're working with them on doing some things like that. Maybe some joint virtual classes on the same project and then present to the joint class. Maybe some things around instructors to improve their credentials. Those types of things are really important. My understanding is there are already 12 Caymanians who have applied for admission to New England Tech since you first saw them about a month and a half or 2 months ago, just based on the quality of the programs that are available there that we just don't have, frankly. We're also looking at another agreement, by the way, with a school just outside of Tampa. It's called St. Leo University. It's one of the largest Catholic universities in the United States. Fairly easy to get to, nice location, and again, the point is not to try to divert Caymanians from coming here, but to give them options. We're all different. We all have different options that we want to pursue, different programs, different locations, and if we can do that with some credibility, it helps our students.
Now, a large part of traditionally your sort of student population has been civil servants. So I know that you guys had actually, in conjunction with the civil service, really had some very specific offerings that were geared towards them. I think at one point there was a public administration course. So give us a little bit of an update on what's happening with the Civil Service College and how you're continuing to partner with them.
So we're working with them to try to develop some pathways again for civil servants. It's fairly common that civil servants in other countries have worked with universities and tried to develop the skill sets that they need to perform effectively in their jobs. So we've had 2 or 3 preliminary meetings with them around some specific areas, one of which is IT, which obviously in the public service and in many industries people really need, but also courses in public administration, like you say. That's a work in progress right now, but we're confident we're able to produce what they're looking for and hopefully have an announcement about that in the next month or so.
Fantastic. Well, it's always a pleasure to do a quick little catch up with you. Again, our listeners are very, very interested in what's happening here at the University College. I was very pleased to see so many young faces here. Some looked awfully familiar, so I know that I've seen them at John Gray campus. So it's wonderful to see them transition over to the University College of the Cayman Islands as well. What do you have in place to really support, especially the new university student, to help ensure their success?
So there's a number of things, and we were talking about this again today. So we do have a course basically on student success or student life at the university. So, kind of a course to introduce them to the differences between, say, high school and here. As I was talking to you earlier, I tend to go to a number of the first year classes as well, just to talk to them about my experiences and share with them, my thoughts about it. But we also have faculty who are very engaged in doing that. So it's not like you're holding their hand per se, but you're trying to give them a soft introduction to the school and the university, which is quite a bit different. It's not as structured, and so you have room to go off the road a little bit if you're not within the guardrails. And so we try to give them some guidance and support. In addition, we have a very active student life area, which has professionals in it that can talk to people who have specific issues around, maybe course load or some family issues at home, or frankly, just some issues like they're hungry. We have a lot of students who are in need of a meal, and so we try to make sure that we think about them, holistically, because if they're not treated that way, they're not going to do well in the academic sense.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again, Dr. Robertson, for taking some time out of your busy schedule to spend with us. Again, it's always great to hear that the University College is going from strength to strength. So I guess continue on that road, and we're very, very pleased to be, part of your journey.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a busy term, as we said, and a busier 2024.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.